Well, good evening, folks, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to do a short overview of Biker Mice from Mars, issue 1 from 2024 by Nacelleverse by Onipress. Nacelleverse story. I probably butchered the name already. I'm terrible with those names. Nacelle, I don't even know. And yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know how I do these types of videos, before you hear me mumbling again and try to make sense out of words, I usually go through, let's say, an indie comic from, this case, the States, or Europe, or let's say a manga from the land of the rising sun, from the Japs, and or a webcomic from, let's say, 2011 till 2025, so current day. And in case of Tales from the Past, I usually go from, let's say the previous century, like the 60s, till, let's say, 2011. And how we break the video down from, let's say, the team, who's the creative team, the writer, art, letters, covers, editor, colors. In this case, there's a whole lot more people in there than with the previous Blue Fox Comics video, so that's one thing. We usually go to what the synopsis is, and in the case of a full-on review, we give a quick breakdown where you dissect page by page, limb by limb, what it's all about, which is ironic considering what happened to these species. But I'm just kidding. I'm getting off topic. But in case of an overview, it's not even needed because it's only unnecessary background information that might or might not sell you the story and usually a waste of time. So after that we go to the good, bad and the ugly, where we put all the good points against the bad points. You know the drill. That will be followed by a final verdict, which is pretty simple. It goes from 10 out of 100 till 100 out of 100, with 10 out of 100 being 1 out of 10, 100 out of 100 being 10 out of 10, which won't happen here, but nevertheless, it's up to a good start. Of course, there might be some things that you might disagree with me about. If that's the case, hey, no problem, totally fine. But let's try to keep it civil, you know. My goal of these types of videos is trying to bring back, you could call it the old school times. I prefer to call it the times or the days before, let's say, YouTube, before the internet, where we could just discuss which comic, European comic, indie comic, webcomic, manga is good or not, which character could be who, is there a good cover, is there good pacing, is there a good balance between the writing and the art, and panel-to-page layout. Those are the discussions that I want to have, and that's not all. I'll also be using the League of Comics Geeks to give you a few other opinions of other people who read this story. First of a three-parter, and I couldn't pick every one of them because due to the length of this video that I try to keep at 10 minutes max. But after we go through a good opinion, a bad opinion, and somewhere in between. And of course, I come armed with my Japanese lacquer box notebook because I like to be prepared. So without further ado, there won't be spoilers in here, so don't worry. So grab a cup of tea, some snacks, and enjoy the show for the last 6 minutes. So we go to who the team is. Well, the writer is Melissa Flores, the artist is Francis Portela, letter is Taylor Esposito. The cover is done by Dustin Weaver, at least this is the A variant. The editor is Carl Boyers, I probably butchered his name, and colors are done by Leonardo Facciarotti. I hope I spelled this name correctly. And it's released by Onipress. For those of you who don't know, Onipress is kind of an published from the States, located in part of Line Forge Publishing Group, and it's located on basically here in Portland, Oregon, which made me a little bit hesitant to buy it, but I could, here's a whole name of the designer, Winston Gambro, as well, but I was a little bit skeptical due to, my own experience with, because I have a personal experience with it. I've been to Portland like 2 times in my life. First one was, to improve my English. The second one was, basically see if the city that I knew existed, but unfortunately, the Portland that I knew back in 2011, it just doesn't exist anymore. But different story, I digress. So we'll go straight into the synopsis, which goes about, these 3 bikers. So from left to right, Throttle, Modo, Vinnie. He's the leader of the team. He's more of a nice, tough guy. And this is, HDHD to the max. Our best friends, they are like, after rules. Let's ride. Let's rock and roll and ride. Because they're bikers. But then a Plutarkian invasion threatens Mars and wants to basically drain the planet of its resources. And the Plutarkians decide to commit genocide on an entire species. Yeah, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. They actually are a genocidal species. And this leads to an insurgency. And the biker mice need to prevent destruction of Mars, and leading to, this should be leading to a new animated series that's going to either debut already in 2024 or this year. And for those of you who don't know what the Plutarkians are, the Plutarkians are basically the main antagonists of the Biker Mice from Mars series. They're basically a fictional race of fish-like people with turquoise-like skills, colored skills, and basically they have to exploit every planet's natural resources due to their own planet dying out. Basically dying because they already exploited everything up there. But that's speculation on my behalf, but I wouldn't put it past them. So basically now we go to the good, bad, and the ugly. Well, the good thing is, the cover looks awesome. It really takes me back to my... if you're not a 90s kid, it's hard to explain, but those who lived during that era or were born during that era know what I'm talking about. It looks amazing. There's a good balance between writing and art, and some interesting world building, nostalgia, and good to see to make one particular background character / villain make an entrance before the original main villain of the 1993 to 1996 series, because it lasted 3 years, and also some touching family moments for let's say for Throttle and for the other mice from Mars. And of course, no sympathetic villains. The Plutarkians are a little more ruthless than what was in the original TV series, and they literally commit genocides on the Martians, which is something I like. No sympathetic villains, great. It's the ugly is it's a slow burn, but understandable. But like I already mentioned in my previous point, is the slow burn gives the slow moments give some room for the characters to have a closer look at them, not just from the perspective of the heroes on the job, but also off the job. And it's you either love it or hate it, the slow burn. But now we get to the final verdict. And before that, there is also anti-capitalistic sentiment / anti-corporate, big corporate or big species exploiting resources, etc. So there's an anti mass consumerism and message in there to be careful of the planet and to be take better care of, let's say the planet you live on. And that's something I can get behind in a certain way. But I don't like people who don't practice what they preach. But I don't see that here, so that's a good thing. Now we go to the final verdict, which is quite positive. The league, at least mostly positive. The league gave it 79 ratings with a 3.9 average rating. And I personally give it 74 out of 100, which is a good start. It's slow at times, like I already mentioned, but it's close enough to the original cartoon from series from 1993 to 1996, despite the Plutarkians being a little more ruthless here. Plus, the slow moments give time to look closer at the biker mice life on and off the job when they're not riding. And of course, I'll be looking up some of the reviews of other creators. I'm already over the 10 minutes, but I don't mind. So, the mice are being engaged into a war against aliens to take over Mars. The biker mice realize what and who they are fighting for. The art is okay, the pacing is good, lots of action, good start to the book, and bring this IP back. And not bad. Just went a little slow for me, hoping issue 2 picks up. I agree on that for a bit. And another guy tells a waste of time for everyone involved, from writer to all the way down to the reader. Who is this for? Well, clearly this particular person is either not familiar with the story or didn't watch or watched the previous cartoon from 1993 or the newer version, or is not too familiar with the lore, which could happen. This is what it is. So, if you'd like to see me make more videos like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to, and make sure to check out my webcomic and that of my hardworking friend Joe Warrior on Global Comics, and check it out on Gumroad as well. That's all for this video. I'm drinking my last cup of tea, and talk to you guys later. Ciao, matane.